Welcome to this video on the full moon in Aquarius, 4 degrees Aquarius, 45 minutes. This is a big deal full moon, you guys. We are in an eclipse season, and this is one of those eclipses. There's so much going on right now. Everything's kind of up in the air. I'm sure everybody's kind of feeling it. Everything's waiting to fall into place. And some things we're still not sure of exactly how they're going to fall, but we're already getting those insights. There's so much going on with epiphanies, mind altering, perspective changing, deep insights that are coming in internally, externally. There's even spiritual potential for these insights, connection on a deeper spiritual level to the superconscious energy around us. There's potential for Kundalini activations. This is a great time to actually go down and have a deep meditation, do some internal processing. And I want to mention full moons always highlight a personal conflict. And the one that this full moon is highlighting is between your internal thoughts and how your passion is for the collective, as well as your past karmic connections in conflict with your personal goals. So it's kind of like humanitarian goals versus personal goals and personal spotlight, as well as your past cycles that you've been stuck in, karmic patterns, versus the new opportunities and paths that are opening up to you. And it's important to mention that humanitarian perspective, that bigger perspective that you've been focusing on and wanting to accomplish all these great, grand things, that's the past life, past karmic cycle energy with the South Node there. And the opportunity is actually coming through self-expression and opening up your own horizons and focusing on your gifts and your talents and your hobbies. And you have to expand yourself. You need to expand on those areas of who you are, your hobbies, your passions, the things you create. How do you shine as a human being? It's okay to do that, to focus on that. And one of the reasons that we don't just follow our passions and live our life following our passions is because of the conflict of having the resources to have a stable life situation. And that is incredibly highlighted in this full moon pattern with the alignment in the sky. The resources and money are highlighted in two ways. That challenge of being able to be stable while being able to do what we love, which if you're really feeling that conflict in a big way and it's wearing you down, take some time, sit with yourself at home and just focus on selfishly taking care of yourself. Focus on selfishly doing things for yourself that you might feel guilty about doing for whatever reason. Focus on yourself, because that's going to ease that conflict of that burden of having to fulfill making enough money. You want to be selfish and focus on what you are doing in order to really unlock the opportunities that are opening up to you right now. And there's also the second thing that's being highlighted when it comes to these resources and money is really this blessing of this potential for building resources through the connections and relationships that we're making right now. So that's a huge deal. There is, it's like a shocking, like, oh my goodness, this opportunity just came to me because of this connection through this person or this relationship that I have. And it's opening up amazing opportunities. So pay attention to the people that are entering your life at this time. They are important. we are drawing in healers and supporters of our goals on so many levels, not just financially, but also, just as healing to our soul, to our energy, to nurturing our passions. These people are showing up in our lives right now, so pay attention to that. We're also, through those connections, as a result of making those connections with the new people that are entering our lives, or the people that we are recognizing in our lives as real, genuine supporters, our past connections that need to be shed are also being highlighted. And it's becoming very obvious and clear that these people need to be shed and that our focus needs to be elsewhere. There's a huge purge of our psyche and our mental framework going on related to all of those things, to our perspective on how we make money and our perspective on pursuing our goals and shining as ourselves versus trying to save the world, which it's great to have those goals to save the world, but it's more important to focus on your reason for being here, which you were given your gifts, your passion, your drive for the purpose that you were born for. And it's simple as that. Once you start working on the reason that you're here, it starts shifting the collective, and you don't have to bear the burden of the world on your shoulders. And you are actually being given an opportunity right now through the alignment of this full moon to see the bigger picture of everything and how your role works in the super conscious connection, that big web that we're all a part of. And I also want to mention that Mercury just went retrograde, or is retrograding the day before this full moon. And that means we need to really slow down and process, especially during this full moon, because Mercury is so highlighted in everything that's going on. And it's a part of the main event, and it's no coincidence that it goes retrograde right before it becomes a part of the main event of this full moon peak the next day. And Mercury is not the only planet that's going retrograde right now. We have Mercury, Neptune, Saturn, Mars, and Pluto are all in retrograde. And now when a planet goes retrograde, it's a time to go introspective with the planet's energetic influence. So with Mercury, you want to slow down your communications, your travels. You want to think thoroughly through everything, all your communications. Think thoroughly through whatever's going on in your mind. Just take the time to slow down. Mars going retrograde, slow down. And this is also incredibly involved in this full moon right now. It's in the South Node. You want to really slow down the pace of your energy so that you don't burn yourself out, first of all, while Mars is in a retrograde. And you want to really take the time to think about what your motivations, your drive, and your passions really are, and why they are what they are. Take the time and focus on how you can use those to drive you in shining for who you are. And Neptune being retrograde is a great time to meditate because it takes that spiritual energy and gets more internal with it. And you want to be sure that you are slowing down on drinking, drugs, any intoxicants, any addictions of any kind, whether it be food, just any kind of addictions. Slow down on them because it is very easy to overindulge while Neptune is in retrograde. But that also leaves us the opportunity to tap into a deeper level of spirituality than we normally would be able to if we take that time to go inside ourselves. Saturn being retrograde, you have to slow down and assess the constructs of your life, like your career and whatever other structures of your life that you live by. Assess, are they of value to where you're headed? And how can you build structure in your life that is more along the lines of what you want to be doing? It's aligned with your passions, your dreams, your goals, your motivations. And Pluto being retrograde, this is a real fun one. It's really time to assess all of the patterns that you've been stuck in and ignoring and end those cycles. It's time to close those chapters. This is the time to really go and recognize exactly what those patterns are that we've been stuck in so we can release them. So this is a big deal full moon. We have so much going on. It's incredibly life-changing for everybody. Even if you're not feeling it dramatically as most people really are, collectively, this is a big deal. We've got our perspective on money and resources altering. We just have so much going on with our personal goals and passions and visions and how we shine as individuals and with our tribe versus our tendency to want to wear the world on our shoulders and take on everything and be overwhelmed even by all of the obstacles that we as a collective face. We're as a collective recognizing that it's more important to focus on our personal individual reason why we are here. And together, by working independently on ourselves, that creates a better, bigger picture for everybody. So pay attention to who you are connecting with, because there's a lot of opportunity for us to be drawing in the healers and supporters that we need in our lives, as well as even potential financial supporters. And you want to pay attention to the messages that you're receiving both internally and externally. Write this stuff down because it will become important if it's not already incredibly prominent and important. If it feels like it might be important at some point, write it down because it probably will be. And slow yourself down. We have so many planets in retrograde. You need to take the time to fully process anything from a totally objective standpoint before you can react. The Uranus square, it can take things from 0 to 100 in an instant. So be safe and take your time. Try not to overreact. Try not to react to other people's overreactions. Process stuff, but everything's going to be all right. I wish you many, many blessings. I'm kind of excited for this big shift. It's a major one for all of us. I'll see you on the other side.